Welcome to the Epic Gaming Night Podcast, a podcast about the stories and relationships board games create. I'm your host, Roy Canny, and with me, as always, is Matt.
Hey, almost did unmute time.
Yeah, and Rob.
Hello, hello.
How's it going, guys?
It's going good.
Hype.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Super excited. This episode is going to be all about things that are underused, which is just a random weird topic that I thought of. But I guess we can get into a little bit of news. I don't really have a whole lot this week. But one of the things I wanted to talk about is a game that got announced, which is Century New World from Plan B Games. It's by our friend Emerson Matsuuchi. This is the third game in the Century line with Spice Road and Eastern Wonders. I'm sure Matt's going to be picking this up.
Yeah, probably. Even though it's nearly anything like what we played at Dice Tower Con, I'm going to be very bad at it.
Yeah, so. I think he changed it a lot because I looked at it and it's not tile placement the same way. It looks like it's more worker placement-ish. So,
okay.
Actually, I'd talked to him a couple times. We ended up, what was it? When did we play a prototype of this, Matt? It was like Dice Tower Con. Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, we had played a prototype, and Emerson said that after playing it, or having us play it and several other people play it, he's like, oh man, it's way too puzzly. So he decided to scale back the puzzly nature of it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see what he's come up with, because it'll actually be new to us since we haven't actually played the current version he's on, and Emerson's the math guy figuring all that stuff out. So I'm excited to see how this one works, and I'm excited to see how they play together, because they showed Plan B had a graph of like, you can play it by itself, you can play it with Century Spice Road, you can play it with Century Eastern Wonders, or you can play all three together. It's like, what?
Yeah.
How does this even work? So I'm excited to see how it goes. But yeah, and then Matt will definitely have the full trilogy. The first thing you need to do is just set them all side by side so you can see the entire panorama across the front of them.
Yeah. Definitely.
Awesome. But yeah, does anybody else have any other crazy news or anything crazy that's going on?
Crazy news? No.
Yeah. I hadn't seen anything that's too crazy that I've been like, oh yeah, let's talk about that. That's come up super recently. I saw a bunch of people are getting their Xayah stuff. I think my Xayah stuff got shipped to my old house, so I don't know what to do about that. I did a forwarding address, so maybe it'll come to me.
It should.
So that should be good. Maybe it's at the P.O. box just waiting for me. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
But
hey, don't you have a new house?
Yeah, we just moved into a new condo. We applied for this place like 3 weeks ago, and in Florida, the homeowners association we had to fill out way more paperwork for the homeowners association than we had to fill out to like rent the house or rent the condo. And we had to wait to be approved by the homeowners association, and then after they're like, oh yeah, you guys haven't done any crimes, then they're like, okay, yeah, you can move in the neighborhood. So they approved us, and then we got the keys the same day that they approved us. So we moved in, and the Dice Tower crew helped me move in. Colin from Plaid Hat was like, oh man, that's the most star-studded moving team I've ever seen, which was kind of funny. And everybody was joking about how Tom always wears the same thing, and like he's in a vest and hat even when he's helping people move, which I think is hilarious. I'm like, do you know Tom? He like never changes. But yeah, good stuff. So I'm definitely excited to be moved in and finally like settling in and doing all sorts of different stuff. The first thing I did was crack open my Christmas present. I was like, built the beds, built the shelves, and got some of the games sitting on the shelves, so I'm not taking.
And then you started to 3D print stuff.
Yep, I pulled that out and was like immediately like, print a thing. So, and And so I've been trying to do that stuff. I printed this little dog thing first. I don't know. This is like the thing that's like the test print thing that's on the card. And you print that out, and it's like you post it online, and other people are like, oh yeah, you need to fix this setting or that setting if it doesn't work out right. But I think everything worked out pretty good. And then I printed like a Keyforge deck thing that is currently the paint on it still. I like painted it because I wanted it to be like 2 different colors because I just used black. But it's like a thing that you can see the name of the Keyforge Archon or whatever, and the houses of it, and it says like Keyforge on the side. I was like, this is kind of cool. So I'm excited to like print out more stuff. It's currently trying to print a car for Spectre Ops. So like I'm like, hey, I want to print a little. Like I was just randomly looking up stuff. I was like, let me go through my top 10 and just type in game names and see if there's things I can print for it. And someone had made a car for Spectre Ops. I'm like, yes, that's what I'm gonna do next. I've just been randomly printing out things. So that's what's currently doing. It's kind of funny because it's really cool that you get to print things, but the prints take quite a while to print. Like this dog thing took like 5 hours. And then like the Spectre Ops car thing is going to take like 3 hours to print. I mean, it's just a little bitty miniature, but you know, it just prints it layer by layer. But you make sure it's set up and the bed's good, and then it'll like print overnight or whatever you need to do, you know?
Yeah.
Good times. But yeah, I've only had that for like 2 days, so we'll see what happens there. But we can get into what we've been playing. I'm super excited to hear about what Matt's been going on. So tell us a little about what you've been playing, man.
So I went to Mini Mace with Hector. Met up with our good buddy Kent Parker and played a couple of games. He was in the middle of Wingspan when we got there, so me and Hector ended up playing Flamme Rouge with some other people, which I had not played before, but I was kind of interested in because it's a racing game. Racing games are pretty cool. They're fun to play. I had a good time with it. I think I like Downforce a little bit better because it plays a little faster, but that being said, it's more of a thinky racing game, you know, just about bicycle racing, and it's pretty good. And even if you think somebody's ahead, the end of the game tends to get real serious real fast because everybody's sort of in contention for first. So yeah, then after that went over, saw that Kent was done playing Wingspan, and I was talking to him, trying to figure out what else we were going to play. So we ended up playing Wingspan because that game is real good, like real good.
I mean, I've heard amazing things.
So, like, first off, the component quality in that game is stellar because it's $50, and you get these small wooden eggs, and it like comes with this whole cardboard dice
like
tower
Easter
that kind
candy.
of looks like, yeah, and the dice tower looks like this crazy like birdhouse thing, and it's like just super cute, and it's really awesome, and the way the game plays is actually really interesting because you're trying to generate these food resources so you can lure birds into your bird encampment or whatever the actual technical terms are for them. But yeah, like there's 3 different places that you can put your birds in: the forest, the grassland, and the like wetlands and stuff. There's the farther down you go each row, you get more rewards if you take an action in that row, but it costs more to put birds in that area. And then there's, like, every time you're using the action in a row, you go down the row and then utilize each of the birds that you had previously. So the birds can have different abilities. They could be like a one-time use ability, or some of them don't have an ability. They're just worth a lot of points. Then some birds, each time you do an action, it will trigger something that can happen. Or some birds have like interrupt actions. So like if you know one of the other people in the game is like laying an egg or doing like hunting other birds or something like that, you get to do something. So it makes a game that's sort of an engine builder and could lend itself almost to like a very Dominion-y sort of thing.
Oh, nice.
Feel a bit more like a game with a lot of substance and stuff. And it's really good. It's really polished. I love the components. I really like that game. Like I went into it and I was like, okay, this is gonna be cool. I'm not really, a big ornithologist. Yep. Can't think of the word. Can't think of the word. Don't know how to pronounce it.
Bird
Big
stuff.
bird person. Yeah, not really a big bird person. So I was just like, okay, well, I don't really know, but I've heard a lot of good stuff about it, so let's give it a try. And I really like it, so I'm probably gonna pick it up because it seems super cool and it seems like something that's pretty easily replayable. And the theme is so light and fluffy, and all the stuff about it's pretty cute. I feel like you could easily introduce it to people who might be able to handle a bit of a meatier game, but still sort of you're trying to get them into board gaming as a whole.
My wife is obsessed with birds, and I'm like, I wonder if this would be a good fit for her to try to play.
Absolutely. I think it would be great for her.
Because she kind of likes that kind of game anyway, I feel like.
Yeah.
What would you classify the game as? Like a lighter weight Euro style game, or it's just engine building style game, or?
I would say it's an engine builder because you're basically trying to, on each of your turns, you just do one action and pass, so it kind of goes pretty quickly.
Oh yes, I'm all about that.
You have like a reserve of cubes that those count for your actions. So I believe you start with 8, and at the end of each round, there's like a scoring thing that comes up, and it's sort of like Isle of Skye in that these tiles are flipped over face up at the beginning, and you know what's coming, so you can be like, okay, well, in round 1, I'm going to get extra points if I have, birds in the forest with, this particular trait, or, birds that eat this type of food or something like that. So you know kind of what you're going for points-wise. And, but yeah, you use those, and then at the end of each round, you drop one of your extra cubes off in that area to show sort of what the extra score was for you, and your actions sort of decrease over time in the game because your engine's supposed to ramp up, and it makes the game ramp up pretty quickly, and you definitely get to the point where you're like, okay, I've only got 5 things to do. This is going to go real fast. I've got to plan out what I need to do just a little bit, and yeah, this is real good. But it definitely is like an engine builder. So you're looking at the bird cards, and you're trying to figure out, which ones combo well with the birds that you have previously, which ones might score you more points based off what the objective for the round is. And then each player has secret objectives, which are, it's usually just like have some birds of this type or have some birds of that type, or, just stuff like that.
Nice.
So you're trying to do all these different things just to get some points. One of the neat things was when we played, Kent and I were talking, and the game he had played previously, because of a combo that came in, was so it saturated the board with a lot of food tokens. So everybody in that game had a whole lot of birds. And everybody was almost full of stuff, and it was just super cool. And then our game, we didn't have that combo, and the food was way more scarce. So the game was quite different from the one that they played previously. And it was just super cool to me that there's that much sort of, I guess, replayability in a game that, is pretty new. And I guess 2 is not exactly a super great sample size, but it seems like there's a lot of stuff in there that you get to play around with, kind of like Terraforming Mars or Blood Rage when you're doing drafting and stuff. You're like, oh, look at all this other stuff that I can do that takes up time.
I haven't got a chance to play it, but on the cruise, that was the game that was just being checked out over and over. And literally, we had the library, and you'd be checking stuff in the library. People just kept coming up being like, hey, is Wingspan back yet? Hey, is Wingspan back yet? I had to be like, hey, if you want to play Wingspan, find the people who have it. They're in this room, because we had to put a sign up that said, hey, don't take Wingspan out of this room because everybody wants to play it. Please keep it here. We didn't want somebody to take it off to their room and rent it for the night or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But
sure.
people would play it, and then people would go and sit beside them until they were done, so that they could play Wingspan next. And me, they would never bring the whole game back. They just bring the box cover for us to scan, so they could scan it out under their name. So it was definitely a hot game, and I'm definitely interested in actually trying it out at some point, and maybe looking at getting it if it's super awesome, because it sounds pretty cool. And Stonemaier.
Yeah. That was the other thing I was talking to Ken about. I was like, man, Jamie Stegmaier is
Does not play around.
like, no, he is so good at what he does. And it's like, I know he didn't necessarily design the game, somebody else did, but he saw that it was a good game and then picked it up and produced it and is doing all this stuff and is easily probably one of my favorite designers. And Stonemaier is just a fantastic company and one of my favorites. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can talk about a game that I got a chance to play. At game night, there was a game day on Saturday. I didn't get to go for the whole day, but I just went at night, and I got a chance to play Detective Club. This game is like a Dixit game, but also a social deduction-ish game. So basically the way it works is there are cards that are very much like Dixit, and everybody gets a hand of like 6 of these cards. And then there's one person that's kind of like the clue giver, and they get all these pads of paper, and each turn each person's going to be putting out basically like 2 cards. And so the person who is the person that's picking the word for the round basically looks at their cards and tries to see something they can try to like play off of, or cards that kind of go together. Like say you had a bunch of stuff with water, you could write water on it, or flood, or H2O, or something crazy. But you have these pads of paper. We played 5 players. So what you would do is you would write the word on 4 of these pieces of paper, like little notepad things, and you'd hand it, or you'd write the word on like 3 of them, and then one of them would be blank. You'd shuffle them all up, and you deal them out to everybody. And then you would put out a card with Dixit-style art on it. You wouldn't say anything. So that means that 3 of the people know like what the similarities of this specific card are, and then one person has no clue. But everybody sees your art, and then the next person puts out a Dixit-style card from their hand of 6 cards. And everybody will look at that and be like, okay, does that match the word, whether it be water or whatever it was? And then the next person would go and put a card out. And the next person would go and put a card out. And then you put your second card out. And you all go around, and then after it gets back to you, you say, hey, this was my clue. My clue was water. And then everybody's like, and then you say, okay, this is why this is water, because this is wet, and this has water splashing in here, or maybe there was a water in that jar in the corner of this picture, so that's why mine's water. And then the next person will go, and sometimes you just won't have cards that really make sense. Everybody goes around the circle, and they just give reasons why they picked the cards they picked and what was going through their head. Then all the people that wasn't the clue giver, they have these little magnifying glasses, and they have to try to guess in turn order who the person who wasn't it is. Then after that happens, everybody reveals their notepad, and if everybody who actually guessed who the correct person was, who wasn't it, would get 3 points. But if the person has 1 or less tokens, they'll get 5 points because not enough people guessed them. Or if and then also the person that was giving out the clues will get points if they don't guess the person who doesn't know. So it's kind of hard to explain. It's kind of like weird to say, but like the person who's giving the clue wants the person that doesn't know to not be caught, because they'll also get 4 points, and the person who didn't get caught will get 5. But all the rest of the people are trying to put out good enough cards so they can find the person who wasn't it, so that they can get points and keep the clue giver from getting points, and keeping the person that didn't know from getting points. It's really kind of convoluted and weird the way it works, but it's really interesting because we played a round where I was playing with Derek and Jason and a nice couple, and the first thing we did was video games, and he put down some like weird like rock mask looking thing. I didn't know it was video games, so I had no clue what it was. I just put down this weird piranha plant looking thing because I thought it looked cool. I was like, okay, cool. And then everybody put down their different things, and then the next one I did, it was like just some weird, I thought it was like trees or something maybe, because I think there was a tree in his first thing. So I put down also like this weird forest thing with like a fireflies in like a canister thing. And then it gets to Derek, back to Derek, and Derek's like, my clue was video games. So everybody's like, oh yeah, video games. I know it's video games. I'm just like, okay. And he's like, well, this is why because this is like a Skyrim helmet, and this is like this because this is like Mario Kart because of this thing. And then it came to me, and I was like, well, obviously this is a piranha plant because Mario, the chomper plants. And then, these are fireflies, like Navi from Zelda. Like, listen, and I just thought of Zelda immediately. So I just immediately said that stuff out. And then everybody else gave their explanations for what they are video games. And nobody voted for me because I was just like real quick at just coming up with the fact that my things were video games. So I ended up getting a bunch of points. I actually did pretty good in the game overall just because it's about figuring out the subtle tells of who does what. It's like a weird social deduction, Dixit, Mysterium-ish weird kind of game. And it's pretty interesting. Detective Club. I don't know if that sounds interesting to you guys at all, but it was pretty fun overall.
Yeah.
The scoring's kind of weird and kind of interesting, and you have to be subtle about it, but it was a cute little game.
Yeah.
I know you've been running all over the place, Rob. Is there anything you wanted to talk about?
I have not gotten a chance to play anything since I played Green Horde that one time. I missed Hector texted me while you guys were at Mace.
Yeah.
And so I hated missing. I was out of the area. So I couldn't go. But no, man, just I'm ready to start 2019. I'm officially counting February as my January 1st.
There you go.
I'm just I'm ready to start the year. I feel like I'm back. Like everything can calm down and I'm back. So
Nice.
oh man, hopefully I'll play some games soon. I need to. My brain needs me to play a game. But I'm also getting ready to sell some games.
Hey.
Yeah. Is there any specific
text
ones
you
you're
a
trying
picture,
to
man.
cull?
Well, okay, I'm just gonna get rid of games that I really don't feel like I'm gonna play.
Yeah. That's how I
They're
always
good
did it.
games. I've got Near and Far, New and Shrink. I'm gonna sell it.
That's a good game. Matt loves
Yeah.
that game. Play Matt's copy.
Yeah.
Matt has a copy.
Yeah. It's
Great.
also still in Steam, but it's here.
I don't
Yours
need
is
a
still in
copy.
Shrink too, Matt? What's up with you guys?
Where he is what?
He said his is still in Shrink also.
Yeah.
I don't play that many games, even though the wall behind me would suggest
We
otherwise.
keep playing the same games over and over and over.
Yeah,
That's true. It's
I
really
feel you
good.
there.
But anyway, I've got some stuff. I'm also trying to cull some space because I have a huge Kickstarter coming in.
Joan of Arc.
Yeah, and so it's like, you know what? I really want to play that.
It's gonna
And
take
so
up
let
the
me
shelf.
get rid of I am over the collection aspect of I want all of these shelves full. Like a couple years ago, it was like I took pride that I owned like 400 some games. I was like,
Right.
man, this is a lot. This is great. Now I don't care. Now I'm just like, it doesn't matter. I really love these games. I keep playing these games over and over and over again. So I'm going to keep these games. And these games that I played once and I loved it, but because of the hype I bought it and I've never played it again, I'm going to get rid of these games. So
Yeah. For me, it was always like, if I look at the game or look at the shelf and I don't if I'm not like, I really want to play this game, or like in this situation, this game would be great to play. If I don't have that feeling, then I'm like, it's going on the trade list or it's going on the get out of here list,
Well, and the other thing is, like, a lot of times I teach people new games, and I like teaching the games that I'm like super passionate about, the games that I really care about.
Yeah.
And so it may be the same game over and over again because I'm teaching new people, but to me it doesn't matter because I already love the game.
Right.
And so, if those people ever wanted to play another game, like, and time goes by and they become gamers themselves, then I'll pick another game up or something like that. But I don't know, man. I just having to pay the bills of a real estate company
Oh yeah.
and
The
other
financial
projects and
pressures, I'm
stuff
sure,
going on.
affect you, right?
Just I'm ready to get the year started. And plus all the traveling, man. I mean, within the past 2 months, we have been in the car a lot.
halfway across the country, halfway down the country, or all the way down
Yeah.
the country.
Yeah, pretty much. So I'm ready to play a game. I'm ready to play a game.
Yeah, for sure. You guys got to get together and have a
Yeah.
game day at some point.
I wanted
Get the
to. I
gang
wanted to
back
go
together.
to Mace so bad. I wanted to go to Mace so bad. Even Kent was texting me about Mace. I like Mace because it's a fun, cool little convention, especially mini Mace. Also, the fact that you can sell games there, like okay. I think that's a
You got to go
that's
to
a-
Recon
yeah. I mean, I'll go
That's
to
a-
Recon as well. That's in April, right?
March, the end of March, I think.
So I like
Yeah,
little
that's-
cons like that because it's basically a glorified meetup with our friends where we can play games.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So I think that's a great idea. But anyway,
Yeah, Recon's going to be 2 days. I feel kind of bad because it's kind of funny because Recon's the convention that I started with my pastor and Luke, who's really like passionate about board games in my church. It just spun off of them just really liking board games and me really liking board games. So we started this con, and this year, I mean, we'd been doing it like 2 times a year, and this year, they were trying to figure out what to do, and my church is weird because they don't have like service the 5th Sunday of each month. It's kind of crazy, but they normally do other things. Like they'll have like, oh, we're all just gonna go to the park. We're gonna have a big cookout, or we're gonna go have like this ice cream thing instead. Well, this year, when they were looking at doing Recon, like the actual convention, they were scheduling it around the same time it was like the 5th Sunday. I was like, hey, you could just do Recon 2 days. And they're like, oh, let's do Recon 2 days. So it's going to be a Saturday and a Sunday.
that's very nice of you. So all those people that wanted the extra day off to not have to work and do the food and stuff. Thanks, Roy.
Well, no. The people that volunteer for that, like they are stoked to do that because they're all like volunteering for the charity that like they help with and are a part of. So,
Okay.
but yeah, they were super stoked about that idea, and I feel bad though because like it was halfway my idea, and now I'm in a different state. So
You should feel terrible about that.
I know, right? Good times, though. Good times.
It's a good idea, and if they're not going to do anything that Sunday anyway, might as well.
Yeah. But yeah, hey, Saturday or Sunday works out for Recon.
Boom. I probably won't be there Sunday.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
My church is one of those weird ones. We actually have church on the 5th Sunday, so it's
It's really weird. It's really strange.
so
So
we'll
abnormal.
I'll be there.
My church just plays board games. It's fine.
I think I have a performance that Sunday.
Hey, you could go to Recon on
I'm gonna
Saturday
play.
and then go watch Rob perform on Sunday.
Yeah, don't do that.
I'm trying to help you, Rob. I'm trying to help you. Anyway, good times.
Good times. So what are we talking about it, man?
What
What's
are we
going on?
talking about? I guess we could get the show on the road. The other games I played were kind of silly or bad.
How was it still working for Dice Tower?
Dude, it's pretty fun. It's kind of crazy. I guess these couple days.
You guys
whatever,
feel
have been
pretty good now that the Kickstarter funded?
Oh yeah, like there's a lot less stress as far as that goes. It's like, oh yeah, we're not all gonna be homeless. That's good.
Yeah.
Tom would just be like, "You're all fired." Okay, thanks. No, he wouldn't do that.
I just moved down here, Tom. Like,
please.
I got here a couple weeks ago.
But yeah, so, but yeah, if you hadn't checked out the Dice Tower Kickstarter, we funded, and that was super exciting. But it's kind of cool. Like we streamed for 4 hours today. They did Arkham Horror 3rd Edition, which was pretty cool. I still really want to play that game, but it's cool to like, I don't know, just interacting with their chat and then like just watch them play the games and stuff. We played this silly sound game at the end of their stream too. They're like, Roy, come play this. It's just like a really dumb game where it just tells you to make sounds and everybody has to guess what the thing is you're making sounds of. It wasn't good, but it was still funny for a live stream, so you know, good times.
Okay.
But yeah, it's good. Yeah, well, today we're going to be talking about underused things.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
So, first question here. I'm sure we've talked about this before, but this fits into underused. So, what do you guys think are some underused themes?
I'm going to keep saying this one. In fact, I'm going to say never used theme.
Right.
I've got a couple of others written down. But if somebody doesn't make a good game of The Matrix,
Yeah.
I'm going to be pretty upset about that. It's such a great game, and it's an old IP. It shouldn't cost you an arm and a leg. But I think The Matrix is a theme that you could do you could do set collection. You got to go and rescue people, from the robots. You could do area control and combat. You could do trading and bartering. If Neo doesn't pass the test, he doesn't get the jump ability. So you got to trade. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff you could do with it. I'm ready. I've been talking about that since we started the show.
I know. And obviously the right publishers aren't listening, or the right designers aren't listening. What's wrong with these guys?
Come on, Emerson.
Let's do it.
Emerson's already got one good IP. We'll just move on to the next.
Yeah.
There you go. Dude, IDW could pick that up. They've got all those IPs.
Yeah.
Talk to IDW. Hey, have you guys looked into the Matrix yet? Do they do Matrix comics? No, I'm just kidding. Good.
So what about you guys?
I like that Darth said Brexit's an underused theme, because that's really on brand for us. But no, I don't know. I think there's a lot of... I would love to see games that have to do more with, like, sort of tribal aspects, like more so with, like, Native American cultures. Just because there were so many, different tribes here, and they have all different sort of cultures and belief systems, and that's super cool. And even if it's just like an Eric Lang area control, check out my God versus your God type of deal, like that would be cool. But I think there's a lot of stuff that can be explored there that might be a bit underrepresented, I suppose.
That'd be cool. I wonder how well that'd be received. I wonder if it'd be like too touchy,
Yeah, I don't know.
Good times.
We got all these waifu games.
Exactly. You don't need any more waifu games. I used to say like anime stuff all the time. I would actually like to see good games based off of like anime, because even the ones that they came out with are all like meh, majority of the time, and it's all like those made games, and I wouldn't go anywhere near any of that. But I don't need waifu games, but the ones based off like the classic action like genres, like Full Metal Alchemist game, or like actual good Naruto game, or actual good, dude. If they made like some Studio Ghibli games, like even if it's just like light Euros, that would be amazing. Make Stonemaier pick up licenses to
that would be
Princess Mononoke. I'm just kidding. Howl's Moving Castle. That'd be crazy. I'd like to see some more like solid cyberpunk stuff too. I mean, there are some games that are cyberpunky, but most of those are like Netrunner and stuff, and Netrunner's out of print now. But that Android game I played, or that they made, was pretty interesting, but it was like too convoluted. I'd love to see something that was like sandboxy, or actually felt like you were running around in that cyberpunk world where you do hacking and biological upgrades, and you can get robotic arms and legs, and that would make like a crazy sandbox game,
Yeah.
If you could like, okay, I'm gonna like upgrade my computer rig, and then I can hack into the cyber world, and we're gonna go after this thing, and then I'm gonna like have a flying car, and we're gonna go to like the moon, and like battle on the servers on the moon or something crazy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Neuromancer is an underused theme. I don't know if you've ever seen that book or anything, but good times. Good times.
One of the themes that I think is not done enough, dinosaurs. There's only a couple good dinosaur games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know that Raptor game was pretty good. I like Dinosaur Island. And I know they came out with that Jurassic Park thing,
Mhm.
like at Target or something like that. It was like a cheaper one, but I just think there's a lot you could do with dinosaurs. Um, you know, I just think that'd be kind of cool to see something more with dinosaurs, whether it's dinosaurs attacking other dinosaurs or humans trying to get them or something. But dinosaurs, man.
Yeah.
Dinosaur Fever.
Well, that and then the Wild Wild West. The only really good cowboy game that I know of and am in love with is Western Legends. Everything else sucks. And if there are other good cowboy games out there,
You don't like Bang? Or Bang the
I mean,
Dice game?
I'd rather play other social deduction games.
I would too, but Bang is like old school.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it a good one. We're talking about underused, and plus,
It is
all right,
underused. It's still underused. 2 games doesn't make overused or even used that much.
there's like, I'm talking about Wild Wild West, like Western Legends, not just old. Like I know there's a great Western Trail. I know there's Pioneer Days. I know there's other games like that, but I'm talking about like
Gunslinging West.
Will Smith.
Gunslinging, Wild Wild West, Will Smith type of a thing.
Yeah.
Not with the robotic spiders. The building.
Cyberpunk.
You could do that though, like if you wanted to do a steampunk type of a thing. But anyway,
Yeah.
those are mine that I wrote down.
More board games. My wife would probably play them with me. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. Well, what do you guys think about, are there any underused mechanics
Yes.
that you'd like to see more of?
I'm going super old school with this one.
Right. Here we go.
And it's because I play a lot of games with my daughter that uses this.
Yeah.
The old sideboard that has like the number table and you flick and spin. And you get to do, whatever you land on. Because it's completely random, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that'd be kind of fun if they could reintroduce that into in a game somehow where you flick and spin. Like I think that'd be kind of fun if you were to do some type of programming game, and you have to base your actions off of what you flicked on, and you can only do that type of a thing.
Man. What if you have like a little board that you have like little sort of cutouts that you put into it, so you're sliding over things,
Yeah.
and then
you
you're
flick
to
and
make
spin
it
it?
and you flick around, yeah, and that's how you do your programming. So you're trying to draft these things. Oh man, that sounds.
I'd love to see it
super
like
cool.
the Life Spinner. The Life Spinner was really cool. If you had like a
Yeah.
programmable Life Spinner.
Yeah. I like that idea, Matt, how you can add more to it.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
really neat, I think.
I always say, I know this might be stealing one of Matt's ideas, but more storybooks like Tales of the Arabian Nights /
Yep.
all that stuff. Near and far.
I'm getting ready to sell my Tales of the Arabian Nights.
Why would you ever do that? I've lost all faith in you, Rob. Why haven't you taught other people how to play that game? You can play that with them.
I think it's funner with people that already know how to play.
What?
Because
That's
they're
a
going
game you need to teach the people to play.
And so I know Matt has a copy.
I don't actually, so I'll buy yours.
Boom. Done.
There we go. We'll just keep it in the family. It'll be all right.
Keep it
You
in
come
the
visit on the weekends.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I almost put that down, Roy, what you said about the books, but I think that's becoming a new hot trend.
Well, I haven't seen it a whole lot more. I mean, I've seen the storybooks that Plaid Hat's done a couple games with that you play on.
Okay, but then you also have that adventure book thing, that adventure game that came out.
Which one?
That one that was based off of like the old books, like Choose Your Own Adventure.
No, that's very different. It doesn't use an actual book. It just uses cards.
Okay. I guess Plaid Hat, Stuffed Fables, Cosmonauts.
But
I know
think that's
Mice and
slightly
Mystics,
different than,
not to the
reading
same
through
extent,
Random passages out of a book, which I think would be great to see more of. I'm sure it's just really hard to pull off making that big book and then like making sure all the passages and stuff line up and all the different things you have to go to.
Okay.
Another one that I'd oh my goodness, I lost it. Oh, another one that I'd really like to see is I don't know that I've seen many other games do this at all, but what Seventh Continent did with like the cards that make out the map as you're going along and exploring it. I would love to see more of that mechanic. Like there's this just giant map that's hidden in all these cards that you're exploring as you go along. I think that new game that like went really big that had that huge Kickstarter last year, whatever that game was called, From Your Awakening.
The Tainted Grail?
Yeah, Tainted Grail looked like it had maybe that. That seems really cool. Just this like giant map that like it is a map. It's not a board, but as you go along, you're exploring the pieces of it. It's not like randomly generated map either. It's like you did this and you did this. Now draw this card, and that's this piece of this map. You know, I don't know. It's pretty cool.
I want to see more blind drawing. Blind draw, whether it's from a bag or, you know, more so from the bag, not the top card of the deck. But like that game we played, Quartz. And there's other games where they have like you reach into the bag and you try to pull the thing out. I would like to see that used more in not just set collection games, but like you know how they do that with Arkham Horror, the LCG. You pull out, you know. I think that's something that you could do more in other games where it could be good or bad for you.
I think there might be a decent amount. I mean, that might do that, but I don't know because I know there's a whole genre of like bag building games where you build stuff into a bag. Then pull stuff out. I played a terrible bag building game the other day. It was like 4X bag building, but I'm sure there's plenty of ways to do it good.
Dude,
I want bag building. That's it, or not bag building.
Just
line
drawing out of bags.
Like okay, here's a fun thing. What if we did Blood Rage, and during the draw, you never got to look at the cards. You had to blind draw one from that, and then pass, you know, upside down, and then pass it to the left.
You don't actually get to pick?
Nope. You have your 8 cards that's dealt to you. You take one of the 8. You don't get to look at it, or maybe you look at it after you pick it, and then you pass the others along.
That ruins the game.
No, I think for new people that would ruin the game, but for like us, right, who have played the game before.
Like, but the draft is the most interesting part. If you just dealt the cards out randomly to everybody.
No, because here's the thing. Like, I'm choosing out of these 8 which ones I want. It's not like you just dealing it to me.
Wait.
Don't take this from me.
I'm trying to figure out what you mean then.
So, you know, in the beginning of every round, you get dealt 8 cards, but you only keep 6.
Yes.
So I'm going to have my 8 cards. And instead of looking at them, I'm going to have them back turned or up, you know, down facing so I don't see them. And out of those 8, I'm going to choose one of them. Now, it's sort of similar if you were to just deal me them. However, the difference is I get to choose which one of those 8 I want. So it has more randomness in it. It's not just you randomly dealing me something. It's you randomly dealing me something. And then out of that group, I choose one and then pass it.
But you don't look at it?
You look at it after you pick it, but not before.
Wait, what's the difference in randomly shuffling cards and then dealing them face down and picking one, or randomly shuffling them and picking one off the top of the deck? Isn't that the same thing?
It's the sense of me being a control freak and like, the ability that I have it in my hand and I get to do it. You're not touching it. It's mine. I chose that.
Okay. I was just trying to figure out the probability difference, but there isn't one.
I mean, they may be similar. They're not completely similar, but I'd imagine that they are similar. If I just deal you 6 cards, all right, because you get 6 cards in the draft. You get 6 cards per round. So I deal you 6 cards, or I deal you 48 cards, and you have to choose out of the 48, 6.
Without looking at them, or
without looking at them. Now, in the rest of the deck, there's 100 plus other cards.
whether you hand it to me or I hand it to me, if I don't know the information that's on them, how's it any different?
You get
Matt,
to touch
do you get what I'm saying or no?
No, you're both right. It's fine.
You're both right. Matt's gonna be the neutral party.
Yep.
Zero difference. You know what, Jordan?
Thanks, Jordan. You're the best.
The probability is technically different, but it's not different by a whole lot. But I think the way to solve this to make both parties really equal is if you have 8 cards, you draft, or no, let's say you get 6, right? So you take 8. So the first 3 you just draw randomly out of the pile when you pass it to the left, and then you look at those, and then in the remaining 3 of your draft, you then choose to try and pair up against the 3 that you got randomly dealt with.
How about
so then you're trying to salvage the situation.
How about we do it like this? Let's make it like Hanabi. We all hold our hands outwards, facing each other, and then we just take turns picking the cards out of each other's hands that we can't see ourselves. And maybe you can choose cards out of your own hand, but you have to do those blind. So you're holding them outwards, and you can see everybody else's, so you can pick from those, or you can
but
pick
that's
one out of
terrible.
your hand.
Because then I would never pick my own. I'd only pick all the cards that are like presented for me.
But if everybody looks at yours and is like, oh man, look at that over there, and you're like, well, maybe I'm gonna hate draft this, so you can't get it, but you might not be the one you know.
I mean, that would be interesting, but I think it would also lend itself to way more just issues, because then all of a sudden everybody knows every card you have in your hand. So you're just like, well, okay, what do I do now? I guess.
I mean, I'm not saying it's good. I just thought it was fun.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, no, for sure.
So blind draw. all of that full circle blind draw.
Yeah, blind draw.
Nice.
Yeah.
Boom. Are there any other? What was the question?
Matt, did you have any mechanics you'd like to see more of?
I guess dice placement. Like either using them as workers. Like I really like Alien Frontiers a lot.
Oh yeah.
And I think games
Champions of
don't.
Midgard.
Yeah, but like the thing is, I'm pretty sure that's not very underused at all.
You know,
I think
Gen 6 is dice placement.
Is it?
Yeah. That's the whole game.
Okay.
Story crossroads card dice placement. Kind of interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think it's that underused. I think it's just more that I
You'd like to see
don't
more
play any of them, so I'm unfamiliar with its market share currently.
More games where you can with randomly fluctuating alliances would be amazing too. Like Cosmic Encounter / Rex, where there's alliances and things like that change over.
Alliances don't fluctuate at all. They're just like, well, I'm locked in here.
Sometimes they don't. I've played the game more than once.
That's true. That's true.
So.
Oh boy.
Good times.
Good times.
Yeah.
Okay. Next. Are there any kinds of components you would like to see in more games? Like specific components?
Yes.
Pop-O-Man.
There you go. That's Matt's go-to.
What do you say?
Yeah.
Pop-O-Matic.
Pop-O-Man. that trouble dice thing. That's the business.
Okay.
Rob's like, know who the
Rob
child
already
is.
said spinners would be great. It's a mechanic and a component.
Yeah.
No, I've only got one in board games. I would like to see more structures. Like buildings. Like that's one thing I really like about Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea. I like the little castles that you build and how it builds on top of each other. I would like to see more and more of that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So piggybacking off of that, I would love to see, and I know more games from Kickstarter are coming out with it, but like the double layered cardboard like tableaus that you use so that you can sink your cubes into it or do whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
So that it's not just like terraforming Mars where it's just a piece of paper and you're hoping to God nobody sneezes or anything like that. That's
the best.
Yeah.
Those are just,
like they have that in like Scythe and what is it? What's that game called? Too Many Bones has those, but they're play mats, or maybe that was just like a Kickstarter thing or something. But they're like actually like mouse pad like mats, but you have the dice that you slot into the like cutout holes that are in the mouse pads. Like it's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that sounds cool.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah,
I love that. I don't remember what I was gonna say.
Say it.
I'd love to see more games with the whole like dice building thing too, like dice that can have different faces. That might be mechanical as well, but I don't know. Dice Forge is cool and things like that. It'd be cool to see more games that had that sort of thing as well as accessory, where you can upgrade and change dice. Because there could be some cool thematic games where you could do that, I think.
Yeah.
Do you think there are any specific genres that are underused, like whole genres of game? I mean, I'm sure to be a genre there has to be a bunch of them, but
Oh, we skipped a question. All right.
This question? Oh no, which one did we skip?
Are there any board game accessories?
Hey, I'll go right back to that. Let's do this one first. Okay, any genres you would like?
Yes, but I don't know if it necessarily qualifies, and there may be a lot more. I just don't know about it. But I don't think there are enough dexterity games.
Okay.
Right, like we have Junk Art, we've got Flick 'em Up, we've got Rhino Hero, Super Rhino Hero, all that kind of stuff. You got the one that you just played, the Moon, and things like that. But if you were to line up how many dexterity games compared to other games, like, is it even close? Are there just so many dexterity games out there that I don't know about, type of a thing? Because I think of tons and tons and tons of social deduction, area control, Euro, all this other kind of stuff. Worker placement, blah blah blah. But dexterity, like, I could think of it. How about this? It would be very hard for me to put a list together of my 10 favorite dexterity, and if I did put a list of 10, it would be the only 10 I've ever played.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
So that's mine. Roll and build area, medical. Okay. Did that stump you guys?
No, I mean, I always want to say more story games.
There are a ton of story games out there right now.
I mean, not ones. Not okay. How many? I want to see.
There are more.
I want to see smaller ones, like small box games that have a lot of story in them. But there's not.
But here's the other thing: are you wanting small box because of a small price?
Yes. Well, and I mean, I feel like you don't need that many.
That's not fair to your publisher.
I guess it takes a lot of work to make a story, right?
Bro, it takes a lot of work to write a story. Then add game mechanics and components around that. And make sure that said components and mechanics work the way that you want your story to flow. Like, and you want all that for $19.99. Okay. That's...
Yeah, but lower prices sells more copies, right?
Okay, but if you do that, I believe one or the other is going to suffer. You're either going to have a really cool story and the game is going to not play well, or you're going to have really cool mechanics and some cool components, but you're not going to have any story.
I feel like the Choose Your Own Adventure game maybe have a little bit more complex mechanics, not really crazier like components, but like just doing things where you're going through decks of cards with interesting stories and things like that, but make it a little bit more gamery. Could be.
So when you say story, you're talking about the book.
No, not the book, not the big book. I'm just talking about like whatever mechanic they use to do it, but it plays through some sort of narrative or some sort of choices that give you a narrative as you go along.
I disagree. I think there's a lot of games out there like that.
I mean, there's a bunch that we like, but there's not that many on top of that.
Well, there are though. What was that Ghost one, where it's almost like Dixit, but you're telling a story as a ghost?
Mysterium.
I don't
think that's a story. I don't think you can call Mysterium a story game in any way.
What do you mean it's not a story game? You're literally trying to tell a story of how you were killed, or how the thing happened.
Wait, I don't think that's what I mean.
So you mean like games like Time Stories?
Or just things that have a lot of like narrative in them, like text that you have to read and go through and uncover.
Oh, you mean like every Arkham game?
Sure.
Okay, well that's a lot of games. There's a lot of text in that.
I'm talking about giant categories.
Crossroad games.
There's a ton.
You're looking for a book.
Oh, okay, yeah, I should just start reading books, I guess.
Yeah.
Rob's like, let me belittle your choice real quick, Roy. Oh, thanks, Rob. Cool. Hey, cool. Thanks.
Well, no. I mean, but I'm not trying to belittle your choice. You asked the question: are there any unused or any genre games that are underused? And I'm just saying, Roy, I've got great news for you. It's not underused.
I want more.
There are a lot of story game stuff out there. You win. It's Christmas, Roy.
I feel like it's the same. It's just categories. I mean, there's going to be a lot in any genre or category. There's a bajillion dexterity games as well. Most of them are really kiddie, though. So.
Yo.
Yeah. I love it. They're not. I love it.
I don't even know what's going on.
What's going on? I don't know what's going on. I'm not here.
We can go back to the other question. Are there any board game accessories more people should use?
Yes.
Next question. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, no. Here's one thing I don't think people use enough: dice trays.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Not dice towers, but I hate the murder of a board game when that one person gets excited and the dice bounce all over the place and knock all the pieces all over.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
Not a dice tower so much, but get that nice little tray. Like,
I like dice.
Are
trays.
you a smoker? Oh, you're not a smoker. That's for dice. Like, yes. Boom. And I'll agree with Nick too. I put it on here, even though this one's harder to come by. Board game tables. Like, I absolutely loved your board game table, Roy. It was set for it. It had everything in its space. Like, I really like stuff like that. I don't think that's utilized enough. But dice trays, and then board game tables.
All the games with metal coins. No, I'm just kidding.
What?
All the games should have metal coins. No, I'm just kidding.
That'd be cool. I always try to upgrade components, especially if I see it in a Kickstarter.
Yeah.
I always I typically do that.
I would say I'm pretty sure that out of all the metal coins for games, Dinosaur Island wins. Those coins are ridiculous.
They are really ridiculous.
You could kill an infant with those.
Killing what?
Like, you can kill an infant with those coins. They're ridiculous. They're almost too much.
Like that game box that I have should not be nearly as heavy as it is.
No, if you took the coins out, it'd be
It's
fine.
a small board and like little plastic pieces, but you guys are right. Like that, yeah.
Oh man.
What about you, Matt? Do you think there's any board game accessories people should use more?
Not really, but for something I've already mentioned, like games like Terraforming Mars and Great Western Trail, that just have a piece of paper as like a tableau. You can find pretty good like acrylic stamped things or even wooden ones that basically just go over and cover it and lock the thing in place so that you can put all this stuff on it and not have to worry about it jumbling around or getting messed up too badly if somebody bumps the table or happens to breathe the wrong way.
I remember when I first got Eclipse. Eclipse is terrible with that problem. The original version of Eclipse, and like literally just like one touch of your board accidentally, you just be like, well, I guess we put the game back in the box. But the first thing I did was get a acrylic thing that held all your cubes because they were just so close together and they all went in an exact spot. I mean, it's worse than Terraforming Mars was. Just because, like, in Terraforming Mars, at least the cubes kind of, like, move from one area to another. This one is, like, they're all sitting in these exact spots, and you remove them slowly. They're tiny little cubes. Like, if your fingers are big at all, they're going to... I never played it without the tray, but I can't imagine doing it without the tray, so... Good times.
Yeah.
Hype!
Yeah.
Awesome. And our last question. Are there any specific games that you think are underrated or underplayed?
Yes.
Rob's answer is always just yes. There are.
Well, I've got a couple. I've got 3 that I wrote down.
Okay.
My first one, you guys aren't going to agree with.
Okay.
Because I don't think you guys necessarily like the game. Actually, my first 2. Risk.
All right.
Just a fun game. Just dice chucking. I got guys here. You got guys there. All right, my 6 beats your 5. You know, blah, blah, blah. Love Risk. Doesn't get played enough. Gets a bad rap. Think that should change. That's my first one.
Yeah. What's your
Nice.
second one?
My second one. Now I'm gonna wait on the third one because I want to see what you guys say. My second one is Big Brother to the Echo in the Room, and also to Risk is Axes and Allies.
Yep.
Yeah. I am super excited for the new Axes and Allies and Zombies to come out, but it's got one of those where you have wealth management as you take over areas. You also have production, like you have to build certain things. You can't just get a tank. Like you have to decide what you're going to do with your money. And it's the Axis versus the Allies. So you are working with your team. There's no Diet Coke win. You either win or you lose type of a thing.
Yeah.
And so, like, I really love that about the game. I just think it doesn't get a good rap because it is a World War II base game, but it's got a bunch of different options. There's a whole naval yard of stuff you can build. There's the Army, there's the Navy, there's the Air Force, there's factories, there are anti-air guns. There's a bunch that goes into that game. It's a lot of fun to play that game. And you get that paper money and you kind of like stroke your beard a little bit with it. And so I don't know, man. I really, really, really love that game, and I'm excited for the Zombies to come out. But that's one I think is definitely underplayed.
Nice.
Yeah.
But neither one of you guys have ever played that game.
I'm actually. I mean, I've heard a lot of good things about it, so I'd definitely be interested in like trying it at some point. Just because.
Yeah. Allies video games.
Say what?
So I played the Axis and Allies video games, but those are quite different.
I mean, it has that mechanic that I love, where it's like you get resources, you use those resources to buy things to blow up your opponents with. I don't know. I really like that.
Yeah.
So, I think, since I'm the only person that champions this, and I know Matt got on board and liked it too, but I never see people online post about it or talk about it, and probably because it's hard to get her out of print at this point now. But I was really a big fan of Wiz War, and I know it's an 8th edition, which seems crazy, but I just never see anybody post or talk about it. Probably because it's too random and crazy for people. But I love that game, and I just never.
Have you thought about like 3D printing some
dude
doors and stuff like that for Wiz War, like
it's
magnetizing them?
It's gonna be more. I'm
Well,
gonna
he wants to make the cube.
I gave up on the cube.
I really liked Wiz War. I thought it was a great game.
Oh yeah.
I want to make 3D printed dungeon tiles and just do the whole dungeon tile thing, and have like actual tiles with doors and 3D treasure chest. I want to do the whole thing.
Are you going to try to make it where it's like the cube, or are you going to make it flat?
No, I'm gonna make it flat, because the cube thing, you have to do magnets and all that crazy stuff, and I messed with that for a while. But I would like getting the wizards to hang on to the side. You have to have really powerful magnets and all that stuff. So
yeah.
If you 3D print the tiles, all you have to do is then build a cubic scaffolding to mount them to, and then if you make it thick enough on the floors of the tiles, you can sort of Dremel out and then super glue a magnet into that, and then do the same thing to the bottom of the
you have to
wizards.
do it for every single tile.
Every square, yeah. But then you wouldn't have to worry about it being slipping, because you could just put it on there and it would definitely stay because it's magnet on magnet, and that'd be the way to go. But that's only if you get and have a lot of money to throw out the window.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna start with the tiles, or the actual like dungeon squares with actual like walls, which would be cool, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boom.
Boom.
Do you have any, Matt?
Spectre Ops. I think Spectre Ops is a game that needs to be played more.
Yeah, I know. The people that have played it and like loved it, like rave about it. But there's a lot of people out there that like just haven't played Spectre Ops or just haven't.
That's one of those things.
Do you think the misprint hurt the sales of the expansion?
I think it hurt the reputation of the game in general, which makes me kind of feel sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that's a hard pill to swallow. Hi, guys, buy this game. By the way, send us an email because we need to send you stickers.
Well, especially when they're like, the game as a whole hasn't been selling good enough to deserve an expansion. Okay, well, we have an expansion designed. We have everything designed for it. Okay, well, we'll put the expansion out. Oh, yeah, we didn't put it out correctly, you know?
Yeah. It's probably dead.
But I love that game. I played that game on the cruise. We just played the base set. I taught Ambi how to play it. I wish he was still in chat, but I taught Ambi how to play it for the first time and played with another nice couple on the cruise. And like I played as the runner and like just booked it, ran out the door, and they had me like trapped for a second, and like I had to use multiple cards to sneak around them and get away. And once I got away, like there was no turning back. But it was a blast. And every single time I play that game, whether I'm on the hunter side or on the agent side, it's awesome. Because like you play on the hunter side, it's like this amazing puzzle of trying to figure out where the other person is. Like cooperative puzzle game where we're working together to try to figure out where they are. Then you play on the agent side, and it's like this suspense thriller where there's people trying to jump on you at every turn, and you got to try to figure out how to sneak past them, and you actually feel like they're the secret. I know there's a lot of other hidden movement games, but they just don't give me the same feel. Like they're either too long, like Fury of Dracula, and have this convoluted like thing where Dracula can fight back and all sorts of crazy stuff, which I'm sure is cool and fine and epic and stuff. Or it's like we played. Did you play? What's the other one? Lairs from Whitechapel with me, Matt.
Yeah.
Yes. Matt did play with you as well as Danny and Hector and all them.
Yeah, that game was fun, but it's just very much more like abstracted out, and I mean the theme was kind of interesting too. It's like, oh cool, you get to be Jack the Ripper killing hookers, woo!
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely Spectre Ops also with the special powers just makes that game. Being the beast and being like, all right, are you 4 squares away, or like being able to try to land exactly on somebody, tear somebody up.
Beast is a beast.
And with all the new characters as well, it adds just so much replayability into the game. Definitely good stuff. I need to paint the rest of my characters.
I don't know. The only reason I say that is because every time you go to a con, you see people playing like Fury of Dracula and stuff. You don't see people playing Spectre Ops, and it's just like,
they're wrong.
There's better games.
Yeah. And a lot of those people, I bet if you ask them, hey, have you played Spectre Ops? Like, oh, no.
Probably not.
Good times.
Do you just email Asmodee itself or Plaid Hat and they just send you the stickers?
They have like a forum you go through, and yeah, you can just get the stickers straight up.
I'm gonna have to pick that up, man.
Yeah, I got a copy. I just haven't played with the new stuff much, so that's when I should take the game day.
What, Spectre Ops?
Yeah, even though I just played it on the cruise, I want to play with the new stuff again.
It's so good.
Mix and match the characters.
Well, yeah, you can play on the original board.
Another game, speaking of Plaid Hat, that I think I haven't seen a whole lot of buzz for, is Guardians. Like, I think that game is awesome, but I haven't seen a whole lot of people talk about it.
No,
I love that game. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, do you not want to have to buy it, or?
No, I'm not gonna buy it.
Yeah, I thought it was fun, and I'm
thinking about selling
some stuff.
Well, here's the thing about Guardians. I think it's kind of the opposite. I think Guardians is one of those things where it's in a genre that's overhyped right now. It's like overdone. right now, and if you're just not at the top of your game on a card playing game, and I was like, not that Keyforge is great, but Keyforge is $10, and everybody's playing Keyforge,
Right.
and you get that. It's
They're not
different,
even
but you
close to
get
the
card
same
combat.
game.
No, but it's card based combat.
Yeah, I mean one's more like area control. I mean, I've played Guardians enough to see like a lot of the intricacies in it, and I feel like it would be awesome if just more people tried it. I mean,
Yeah. What would you rather get rid of, Crystal Clans or Summoner Wars?
I mean, I'll probably always keep Summoner Wars. Just because, like, Summoner Wars is one of those games, like, I want to keep this and teach my kids how to play. Is that weird?
No.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll sell my Crystal Clans.
Hey, Nick, come down to Homestead. We can play. I mean, it's only 4 hours.
Hey, I've got the third one on my list. Speaking of people that we love and companies that we love, a game that I definitely don't see enough other people playing, that is Crossfire.
The marble game?
Crossfire, the hidden roll game. Hidden roll, the one that Emerson made.
Oh, yeah. I know.
I've
I was
only ever seen it played when I was playing. I've never seen other people play it.
We played it at the Dice Tower, but I think that's because I asked.
I was playing it.
I was like, guys, play this game.
I know, but I'm just saying though, like I've never walked by a table of other people playing it, and I think for a hidden agenda, hidden role type of a game,
so quick
to be under 10, 15 minutes, it's so great. It's not the best game of that type, but it is great for the fact that you can play multiple games in 20 minutes. Like, it's one of the best filler games out there, but nobody gives it the time of day to play. And there's like multiple versions and multiple ways in the game to play. Like, it's not just this one scenario. You can do a bomber, you can do the shooter. I mean, there's a bunch of different stuff. I think there's 3 or 4. I think there's 3 game modes in the box. But anyway, so that's my game.
Nice.
Yeah.
Matt, do you have any others that are underrated?
Nope.
Nope. I keep looking at my shelves. I'm like, no, they're those games everybody talks about.
Yeah.
All the other.
How you like?
All the underrated games I gave away. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, see, like I'll never get rid of my Crossfire because I like it.
Oh yeah.
But it's just one of those things that like nobody plays. I think Spectre Ops was another great choice. It's like one of those where, it's a great game.
Nice.
But anyway, I'm gonna try to go to Tantrum Con, Nick. I don't know, man. I'll tell you this: it's not that I haven't wanted to go to stuff. Just
he's a businessman, and other things.
And everybody's dying, literally. Like, stop dying. Like, everybody. Like, please, Matt, stop right now.
Hold on, everybody.
Don't let go.
The salad.
But just a bunch of stuff. Good times.
Good times. Cool. Was anything else you guys wanted to add to our underrated and underused segment?
You know what's an underrated thing? This podcast.
I know, right?
We are underrated, and that needs to change. Like, people need to check us out. I know we're so full of energy tonight.
But
we just got a lot.
We are a tight-knit community of people, though.
We are. Oh, my goodness. Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it. That's.
Rob's going to sleep now, guys.
I really could. I really could. In fact, if one of you guys wanted to do the next thing, I think that would be fabulous.
Yeah.
I mean, I could
Roy,
try.
do it.
It's just gonna be embarrassing for me.
No, it's
You
not.
set the bar so high.
So freaking do it. You can do it, man.
I'll try.
You
Okay.
can do it.
Awesome. We stream these Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time at youtube.com/Epic Gaming Night. We do want to say thanks so much to all of our amazing patrons, especially one of our patrons, who is this
Come
person
on.
needs
Come on.
no introduction.
That's right.
This
What are we talking
person
about?
smell like lumberjacks are jealous of this person.
Yes, they are. Who are we
Yeah.
talking-
like they have probably like the biggest axe and can climb all of the tallest mountains.
The biggest axe.
I need your back around hill.
Specifically using the word axe.
Listen, people say that the Earth rotates around the sun. No. Everything rotates around this person.
Who is this person?
I'm not saying that they're large of mass or anything like that. It's really not about their weight, but they are truly awesome. And that is, I mean, this person, I mean, I think they're probably a superhero. Honestly.
Hey, I would be shocked if they weren't.
Especially with the name Micah Powers. I mean, what kind of powers do you think Micah would have? Like, I mean, supersonic, like, smell. I mean, they smell really good, like wood chips. I mean, is that a thing? I don't know. I've just turned this into like a cringy thing as opposed to like an awesome thing.
Supersonic smell. We're in there.
I was trying to go for the compliments, and I'm just like, you can hear the smell from miles away. Supersonic smell.
Remember how we started, please.
But yeah, Mike is the best, and so are all of our amazing patrons. Thanks everybody who supports us on Patreon. If you want to check us out and support Epic Gaming Night, make sure to check us out at patreon.com/Epic Gaming Night, and keep us going. Keep it up.
Keep it up.
Yeah.
Going. We do love you guys.
Absolutely.
We really do. Would not be here if it were not for you guys. So thank you for putting up with us. We love everybody in chat. We love everybody that listens during their car ride when this comes out. We love all of our patrons. We love you. A bushel and a peck and a hug around the neck.
Nice.
That's how much.
Awesome, guys. Well, I guess we'll see you next time.
All right, guys. I just asked somebody a deep question in chat, but now we're having to hang out. We're having to leave. So, peace.
Peace. Let me click the button.